right, this is Venus Brown. I am on live stream. I don't usually do this very often for trailers, but I am going to be doing this next season on live. I'm not going to be reacting to it. I might put reactions on for it later on, but for right now, when it first starts coming out in September, I will be doing live stream pre-watches. So about an hour before the show comes on, we'll do a little pre-watch, talk about whatever little bit that I might actually know about the show, about the upcoming season. I think for this initial one, because they're going to drop 3 episodes at one time, we'll just talk a little bit about the stuff that happened in the previous season. Maybe I'll watch some more trailers because I'm only doing one trailer reaction on this one. And if I find anything else that I find interesting, maybe some interviews or something like that, or behind the scenes, I don't know. I haven't really looked very much other than at the trailers. So whatever I find, maybe we'll look at those a little bit, have a little discussion, or at least I will be discussing a little bit about what we've seen on the previous season of GenV and what I might expect for the next season. So, if you want to, you can join me about an hour before it comes out. I believe it's on September 17th. Although I think when I checked, it was actually September 16th here. I don't remember exactly what time. So, I'll try to put out a little just a little message about it beforehand so that you know what time I'm going to be on and exactly what day it's going to be on. But over here, I'm in Florida. It's Eastern time and hour before the show. Anyway, I'm going to go ahead and get to watching this trailer. We'll go ahead, look through it one time all the way through. And then after it's done, usually what I do is I go back through and just look at a little bit at a time. So, and talk about whatever I want to talk about. And then we'll end it and you'll see me for Gen V at the beginning of the season, right before they drop those first 3 episodes. After that, every time they drop a new episode, we'll do a pre-watch about an hour before the episode drops. Just so you know, I am taking like a couple weeks break from my editing and or putting out videos. I'm still editing. It's just that I was sick for quite a while. It's taking me a while to get back back where I need to be. Still have congestion. I think that's all I got right now. My Tokyo Ghoul episodes, I am going to take a 2-week break on publishing those in a couple weeks. And that is because I actually ran out of episodes while I was sick, and I was too sick to record more episodes. So it took me a while to get those done. Anyway, I think I have one more episode to post next week, and then after that there will be a 2-week break, and then I will go back to posting episodes of Tokyo Ghoul. So, or not Tokyo Ghoul, Attack on Titan. Got that mixed up. So after I think it's episode 10. Episode 10 is when I realized that I was really still too sick and wasn't gonna be able to keep up with everything. So after episode 10, 2-week break on Attack on Titan. So if you watch that, that is coming. And then I'll go right back to airing those episodes once a week. Gen V season 1 is done. I already finished publishing it, so that's all finished, and Gen V doesn't start up again until September. I do have another show that I will be doing reactions to that I will start in a couple weeks. I'm going to do this trailer reaction this week. Next week, I'm going to do a trailer reaction for the show that I'm starting, which is called Chaos. If you have not seen Chaos, I definitely recommend it. This is kind of a modern day take on the Greek gods, as if the Greek gods were really a thing and people really believed in them. They were actively involved in the world's events, and the Greek people still believed in them and they followed them, all of that. It's a bit humorous, so a little bit of a humor, drama type thing, but I really liked it. I really enjoyed it. I wish they were doing a season 2, but they canceled it. They canceled it after the first season, which pisses me off. They did get a complete season in where it sort of ties it up at the end. The problem is they made it so that they could bring out another season that would have a whole nother storyline, which I would have liked to see. I would have definitely liked to see. I really liked where they were going with it. So even though it may have tied up what they were doing on that season, it really left this whole other set of things that I thought would have been really cool to explore. And no, it got canceled. And because it's a Netflix original, they said it's very unlikely that it could be picked up by some other channel. And Netflix don't like to re-air or they don't like to renew their shit after they've already said they're going to cancel it. So that sucks. I liked it. I thought it was a kind of a different kind of TV series than I've seen a lot lately. It was funny, yet serious. Like, there was definitely episodes where I was crying. Very interesting. And I also was not able to pick up on everything. You will see that if you watch my reactions. You'll see that I wasn't able to pick up on everything right away. It took me some time, and then I ended up watching episodes again with my husband, and that helped me pick it up a little bit better. Like, understand some of the stuff, because I don't know a whole lot about the Greek gods. I know little stories about gods here and there, but it's really like a scatter shot. And I know a little bit of what I've watched from Sandman and from what I've listened to on one of my audiobooks of Sandman. But that's about it. So it was a little confusing for me. I mean, even if you do know the stories of the Greek gods, I think some of it might have been confusing, but I still really enjoyed it. I thought it was really awesome. And I like that gradual learning of things about a show that I'm watching as I'm watching it, rather than, like being able to figure everything out all at once. I don't like that. I'd prefer to be a little bit in the dark and learning a little bit at a time. And when I am confused like that and then I figure something out, it's like, oh, that's like, I like that. I like that feeling. Anyway, let's go ahead and get to this trailer. Now, I am going to switch to another scene. I'm on my Streamlabs, so this is going to change like this. Okay, and got my trailer on.
Welcome back.
Good to be back. Thanks for letting me re-enroll. I'm grateful.
You're an eye twitch away from leaping across this table and ripping my throat out with your teeth. I get why you're upset after what happened.
Yeah, I knew last time.
Stay behind me.
Ending the series with them in that hospital room.
Hey, you
with
guys.
no doors.
What the fuck?
That they would do some shit like this.
I'm Cypher, your new dean. It is
I hope the
time
sound
that
is okay
humans
on
learn
this.
that what
I
runs
turned
through our
all like my
veins is
extra
true
tracks
thought
off
blue.
and everything, and it should just be playing through track one.
Nothing good will come of this.
I don't know if the other
Nothing
tracks
ever
play
does.
on
Want to burn the
the
school
live streams.
down to the motherfucking studs.
Let's fucking go.
I will be preparing you to push your powers to their fullest potential. You are not students. You're soldiers, and you will fight.
Bless your hearts and hold on to your butts.
We should run.
What we should be doing
This is why I've seen all these resist posters.
Don't shoot it up.
I will probably be using those as a background when
What really happened to my son?
I do
You
my
have
rewatches.
no idea what you're dealing with.
I was wondering what they were going to do about his son because the actor that played his son
Let's go.
died in a motorcycle accident.
Sophomore year is gonna be lit.
Thank you for clicking on our video, everybody. If you like what you saw here, please make sure you like the video and subscribe and share with your friends who like this sort of content. Joe Blow was created by movie fans for movie fans,
I don't
and we
even
appreciate
know,
your support.
I didn't even know who did this. I just knew it said it was a official teaser. Okay, so let's go ahead and put this back at the beginning. Okay, and I have to bend over every time because right now my mouse is corded and it is attached too close to my computer. So sometimes I can take my mouse pad and put it right here and use it over here, but the cord on it is just way too short, or it's too tied down, so I can't do that. But anyway, all right, so we start out and she is, it looks like maybe in the Godolkin school in this guy's office. I'm assuming he's the new director or whatever it was that Shetty was. But he's talking to her about, I think, re-enrolling, and this obviously has to be after their whole hospital/prison episode that they had to deal with. Like I said, we ended the season with them in a hospital room that had no doors or windows. It was just all completely walled off. And me and my husband and my kid and my brother-in-law were all like, yeah, is this the new woods? So that's kind of what I was expecting, is them to be stuck in something like that for a while and then eventually get out. And it looks like that's what's happening. And he's like, yeah, you look like you're gonna reach over and claw me to death. And she's just like, don't press me. She doesn't say anything, just gives him that look. Anyway, let's move it on a little bit.
Welcome back.
Good to be back. Thanks for letting me
And
re-enroll.
I'll just let it play until
I'm
it gets up
grateful.
to where I want to stop.
You're an eye twitch away from leaping across this table and ripping my throat out with your teeth.
And hopefully they don't cut it. I have heard that sometimes the powers that be on YouTube will cut a live stream or even a recorded video for trailer reactions, for having too much of a trailer on there, or sometimes even just any of the trailer, which I find ridiculous. But mostly when I've done any trailer reactions, they've let me put the whole trailer on there. I don't know if it's the reactions I'm doing or that I have very little subscribers or what the deal is, but I have not had a problem playing trailers all the way through. Same with interviews and behind the scenes, what happened in the episode, anything like that. I'm usually able to play those all the way through. The TV shows themselves, not so much. And sometimes music can get things cut out completely. So for the most part, I try to avoid having too much music, except for on the trailers, because like I said, I haven't had problems with them cutting my trailers or flagging my trailers or anything like that. But if it's a TV show and there's music in it, a lot of times I'll try to cut most of it out. But if it's something that I really like, I'll try to leave a little bit in there, and then I will publish it and see if they take it. And if it comes up with a copyright flag, then I'll take it back off. I leave it on my editor until after I get it published. So that way, if I have to, I can remove some of the music. I didn't used to do that because I did not have the greatest editor. I didn't have the greatest anything. So it used to be what you saw is what you get. And if I needed to cut anything out, I had to do it through the YouTube stuff that they have, which is not great. And anytime you make edits to YouTube videos like that through their editor, it takes hours for them to do the whole thing and put it back up. So I try not to do that. I try to just edit it in my software, reload the video, and republish it. Anyway, so now they have them in, we can see they're in this new prison, whatever it is. I'm gonna say it's the New Woods. And we can see that the actor that played Jordan, that played male Jordan, he looks a little more aged up. So he's, he's probably at that age where he's just starting to look a little different. And it could also be just that he's styling his hair different. He's doing things a little different. So he does look a little different than what he did on season 1. But if he is a teenager, he's going to be going through that, his whole look is going to be changing as he grows, because that stuff happens when you're a teenager. All those hormones, all that, all the growing, even if you're done growing height-wise, there's all kinds of other stuff going on. Anyway, so, yeah. In the prison, let's take a closer look at what they're doing in the prison, if, I can hear anything.
I get why you're upset after what happened.
Stay behind me.
Okay, I get why you're upset at what happened before. Okay, so I don't know if he's talking about before on the previous season, or if there was other shit that they did while they've been in this New Woods, but yeah, I imagine that this shit has gotten very fucked up, and it was already really fucking fucked up. So, but I guess we'll find out when we start seeing the episodes. But yeah, oh my god, there was so much fucked up shit, and especially the end of the season, those last 2 episodes was crazy. And which you should expect. This is from the creators of The Boys. It's from The Boys universe, and The Boys is insane. So I'm expecting this to be insane. I expected it to be insane before, but even with me expecting it to be insane, there's still stuff that I'm like, holy crap. What the heck? Oh my god. Anyway. Okay, so now it looks like they went through some shit in the prison. You saw them freaking tasing people or electrocuting them and, doing the fucked up shit that they were doing with the previous Woods. The girl that they were tasing, I'm not sure if that looked like one of them or somebody else. But, either way, it's fucked up. Come on. Seriously. Okay, and now we got Kate. Kate is a huge part of the reason that all this fucked up shit happened at the end, the last episode of the previous season. I can't completely fault her on all of it. She's fucked in the head. She's been through a lot of shit. They fucked her up, and she was trying to figure her shit out. And her thought of, oh, it's the medicine. It's the medicine. The medicine's been keeping me clouded and all this stuff, which is probably very true. But the medicine also was keeping her more controllable, more controlled, more tame. And in a way, I kind of hate that, like this use of medicines to keep people under control, keep them docile, and all of that stuff. Like, we have had a serious problem with psychological professionals diagnosing people and medicating them with stuff that makes them controllable and docile and all of that, that takes away the characteristics that make them uncontrollable, that make them a little out of control, that maybe make them who they are. And some of that is stuff that maybe they want or need that a little bit, but some of it is stuff that you really are just taking away who they are. And some of those medicines have permanent side effects. Some of them have side effects that aren't permanent but take a long time to kind of get them back to normal, if you find out that they're affecting you like that, or you find out that what these doctors are prescribing isn't really that good for you. And I'm not going to say that all the medicines that they're prescribing are really bad. I've heard people say stuff like that before, but to me that's nonsense. There are certain things that medical professionals and definitely pharmaceutical companies get very carried away with prescribing to people to make more money off of it, to make them more how they want them to be, shit like that, to an extent that those people really aren't who they usually would be, and to an extent that they might actually be getting fucked up by the medicine that they're getting prescribed. But there are definitely times where you need that. I take some medicines sometimes for my mental health. Sometimes I need that. I'm not on it right now. I think that I probably should be on a mild dose right now, just because of everything going the way it is, and that I've been definitely snapping at people more and more angry and more frustrated and all of that. But I also think that some of that right now is because I'm going through perimenopause, and that is just fucking me all up. Anyway, anyway, it's a whole controversy how people react towards certain medication and why they're being prescribed that medication and whether they should actually be on that medication, all of that. But I do try to research anything that doctors are trying to put me on. I do try to see like what the side effects are, what is most likely to react to me, to my situation, to anything else that I might be taking, anything like that. But not everybody has that ability. Not everybody even thinks to do that stuff. A lot of people depend on their doctors to be honest with them and to tell them the truth and to give them full, complete information and all of that. And they don't always do the best thing for their patients, even though they are sworn to do that. Sometimes they don't know either. A lot of times, once you get to a point where you have a certain diagnosis, you learn more about that stuff. A lot of times, the doctors that you're seeing regularly know less about it than you do, because you're looking into it so much, because you're learning so much about it. I'm not saying that the professionals that are specifically there for that specific thing know less than you, but sometimes they do. But I am saying that a lot of the doctors that you'll see regularly that are not necessarily professionals in that specific issue, a lot of times they are going to know less than you if you've been looking into this for a while and you've been studying it for a while and you've been trying to figure out, what do I do? What should I take? What shouldn't I take? How should I proceed? What should I be telling the doctors and what should I not be telling the doctors? Anyway, let's move on. Next part. Let's see what Kate has to say for herself.
Hey, you guys!
What the fuck?
Yeah.
I'm Cypher.
Your new dean.
It is time that humans learn that what runs through our veins is true Vought blue.
True Vought blue. Okay, so we had Kate show up and be like, "Hey guys, like everything's all fine and dandy," and she's just showing up and expects them to be like all excited, and they're like, "Holy fuck, what the fuck is going on?" I don't blame them. I hope that Kate has made some adjustments and isn't so fucking completely insane as she was at the end of that. I think had she had some real help and somebody that could have like adjusted her more gradually when she stopped taking her medication, because you're not supposed to stop taking medications like that just without any freaking, like, you're supposed to taper them off. Some medicines you can stop without too much problem, but a lot of medications like that are for your mental health, a lot of those need to be tapered off gradually. They can cause severe problems, severe side effects by just cutting yourself off like that. Anyway, so we hear a little bit from this guy Cypher, the new dean or director or whatever the fuck he is. He sounds like he's gonna be a jacked up person in charge again. It sounds like he's trying to be more on the maybe the soup side this time, but who knows? Like, you can't always tell with these fucking people. But it also sounds like he's making this very much like using that political spin that politicians do to twist things in the way that he wants to twist them, to make them sound how he wants them to sound, most likely how Vought wants them to sound. So it's probably definitely working for Vought and doing a lot of shit for Vought, and so I'm assuming that a lot of this is going to be twisted towards Vaught's ideals and Vaught's perspective. But then again, I don't know. Let's go on to the next part.
Nothing good will come of this. Nothing ever does.
We're gonna burn the school down to the motherfucking studs.
Let's fucking go.
Okay. I hate that I have to keep pushing this because the way that I have the trailer on here, I have it full screen, and if I want to look at my Streamlabs setup, then I have to push another button in order to get it even to show up. And anyway, but yeah, so Kate's boyfriend, can't remember his name. In real life, that character died in a motorcycle accident, so I was wondering how they were going to play this for the episode. I wasn't sure if they were going to just like try to act like something happened and no more discussion about it, or something, more like part of the story. It sounds like they're making this part of the story, his dad is like, after what they did, after what happened to him. So it sounds like they're going to create a situation where, or, you know, have a situation in the story where something fucked up happened to him, and that's why we're not seeing him anymore. And his dad is pissed, rightfully so, and so he wants to take vengeance on this fucking school and all the fucked up shit that it's done, and I'm sure on Vought also, because Vought is a big part of the whole fucking problem. Alright, let's move on.
I will be preparing you to push your powers to their fullest potential. You are not students. You're soldiers, and you will fight.
Bless your hearts and hold on.
Okay, so... Good lord. Stupid, crazy shit. Okay, so yeah, it looked like a lot of that was training, getting them ready, but then they're like, you are not students, you are soldiers, you're going to be fighting for Vought. So yeah, take their twisted Vought ideology and their Vought perspective and present it how they want to, and get these kids presenting things how they want to. Just that's what Vought does. That's what Vought does with every single person, soup, whatever, that is working with them, that is doing anything with them. It's all about PR and creating this perspective, which we frankly do ourselves with our own politicians. Our own politicians have all this fucking PR where they're constantly trying to twist the perception to how they want it to be presented. And it's gotten particularly bad in the last 10 or so years, but really, really freaking bad since Trump got into office again. But, I mean, that's another story. That's another thing. And I'm trying not to make my reactions and stuff too much about that stuff. I do plan on doing some stuff on another channel that I have, but I'm not ready to start those yet. That'll be reading political articles and just giving my perspective on them, but it won't be on this channel because I do TV show reactions on this channel. Excuse me, I am gonna do a movie reaction, but that's just because one of the TV shows that I really, really like, they're putting the last season out as a movie. And I am also going to start doing reading The Handmaid's Tale. And then eventually, like, that will probably take me a while. I am not a fast reader. Eventually, when I get done reading The Handmaid's Tale, I plan to read the Testaments. And I plan to do that to kind of fill things in, to keep things going on The Handmaid's Tale and Testament front until they get the first episode of Testaments out. I'm sure even when Testament does come out, I will still be reading, so, but that's okay. It gives me more Handmaid's Tale and Testament stuff to kind of fill in, because I do like that show. I really enjoy that show. And my husband introduced me to that show. I had no idea what it even was, because the title, The Handmaid's Tale, sounds like a handmaid. Like, that doesn't sound like what The Handmaid's Tale is. The Handmaid's Tale it's so fucked up. It's a dystopian novel turned into a dystopian movie and TV show. I have not seen the old movie, but I have seen the TV show, and it is jacked up, but I like watching jacked up stuff sometimes. Anyway, let's go ahead and keep on watching this trailer and see what else these crazy fucking people are doing.
Onto your butts.
We should run.
What we should be doing is disrupt, break shit, fuck shit up.
Whatever we do it together.
Okay, so So I think that all goes along with those resist posters I've been seeing all over the place. And like I said, I think I will use one of the resist posters as my backdrop for my pre-watches when we do GenV Season 2. But yeah, I like the idea of some resistance, some fucking activism. That's like right down my alley, because in real life, that is stuff that I get myself involved in. I think I didn't used to be that way necessarily. I've always been opinionated and insisted on speaking my voice. Well, I can't say I always have. I was very shy and very quiet when I was young. It took a long time for me to get the nerve and the gumption to speak out for myself, to start speaking my mind and to be more assertive. But around, I want to say 19 or 20, around 19 or 20, I started to kind of, I honestly had a boyfriend that really helped pull me out of my shell. And after that, I started kind of really trying to work on myself. I realize now that having pride in yourself and being, having a good self-esteem and stuff like that actually looks better. Having low self-esteem and being super shy and embarrassed all the time, all of that, it created this situation for me, I think, that made me a magnet for bullying and harassment and assault and all kinds of shit. It doesn't mean that you're not going to get bullied and harassed and assaulted, but I think it does kind of bring that kind of stuff to you. It makes it more likely. It makes you more of a target. And so I started to work on myself and become more assertive. And that shyness still sometimes peeks out. Sometimes I still have trouble talking to people. I still feel awkward and left out of certain situations and like I don't fit in certain situations. But I spent a good long part of my young adult years trying to find where I fit, trying to speak my voice, trying to figure out what my voice was trying to say and how I really felt. And I think, but I wasn't really involved in politics. I wasn't really involved in advocacy or activism or anything like that until the John Kerry, I think it was John Kerry and George Bush election? I'm not 100% sure on that. But the election where John Kerry lost because of dimpled chads and other crazy shit, that is when I started getting involved in local politics and in the presidential stuff. Just not like actively involved in presidential races. I would be actively involved with local political stuff, but not presidential races. But I would like really keep up with the presidential races and go and sometimes go to some of the political events where the presidential candidates were going, stuff like that. But yeah, that's like what started getting me really more involved in activism and stuff like that. And then going to meetings and learning what was going on locally, politically. And believe me, if you want to really make change politically and you're worried that your little small peon self that is only one person and can't do anything yourself, if you're really wanting to do something that might actually have an effect, involving yourself locally is better. It is a good idea. You are more likely to make change locally. You're more likely to be a part of real change locally than you are in the big federal elections. But I still have no problem with getting involved in the federal elections either. I think that stuff is important too. I just think it is it makes more sense to get involved locally. You know your local areas a little better than you know the other stuff. You are going to be more affected by the local decisions that are being made in your area. And local races are smaller. They're a little easier to influence. And and it's easier to kind of like use your own voice to influence others in your local area. Whereas trying to influence the big races, it's still important. The more people that you have hearing your voice, the more likely you can have sway, but it's just less likely you'll have an effect. Anyway.
Is you about ready?
Not yet.
How soon?
I don't know. Probably about a half hour. That was my husband. We're going to be going out because my birthday is tomorrow and I am making pork chops and scalloped potatoes for dinner tomorrow because that's what I want. So tonight he is taking me out to Carrabba's, which is one of my favorite restaurants, for a early birthday dinner. So anyway, let's go ahead and move on with this.
What really happened to my son?
You have no idea what you're dealing with.
Let's go. 3, 2.
Sophomore year is gonna be lit.
Okay, so... Oh, what was his name? The guy's dad. Polaris or something like that, I think. Was that? I think that's what they called him. Him and his son both could do things with their mind, move things with their mind. But then towards the end of the season, we found out that his dad's health, his brain has seriously deteriorated because of their powers, and the more they use their powers, the more that it will mess that up. But yeah, you could see he's really pissed, and he's trying to do things, and this guy that is this new leader in charge of Godolkin, he's like, you have no idea what you're doing, what you're getting involved in. But when you're like that, I don't think you really fucking care. I don't think you are really looking at what you're getting involved in. You are in a fucking rage. You're in a fucking rage. You want fucking vengeance. And so you're not gonna necessarily think straight, and you're not gonna do something that makes sense or that is going to be helpful. But then again, I don't think this guy is somebody that they should really be listening to anyway. It sounds to me like he's going to be another one of those people that they need to keep their distance from and are going to need to fight against eventually. They'll just have to do it carefully. What is carefully in this universe? I don't know, but they're just going to have to be careful to really plan things out and try to make sure that they don't kill a whole shitload of people again. Okay, let's get this notification off here and move on. We're almost
Thank you for clicking on our video, everybody. If you like what you saw here, please make sure you like the video and subscribe and share with your friends who like this sort of content. Joe Blow was created by movie fans.
So, whoever Joe Blow is, you can go look for him and like his reaction if you want to, or his video if you want to. I almost clicked the wrong button. That would have been bad. I almost clicked the power button. The whole thing would have gone down. So, anyway, yeah, it's gonna be exciting, but I wouldn't expect any different. I know my husband said that that they're going to be doing another spin-off of The Boys, I think called Vought Rising or something like that. So I'll be looking at that. I don't know if I will do it. I don't do reactions to The Boys. Gen V is crazy enough. The Boys, I think, is even a little bit crazier, and I don't honestly feel like doing reactions to that. But I'm okay with doing reactions to Gen V. I know that it's crazy, and so I expect it to be crazy. I'm still going to react crazy if I think something's really freaking insane, because it is. But I'm okay doing these. Anyway, like I said earlier on in this live stream, I am not going to be doing reactions to Gen V, at least not initially. I am going to be doing live stream pre-watches. So about 1 hour before the show drops, I will be doing a pre-watch of whatever episodes are coming up. We'll probably talk, at least the first one will probably talk about a little bit of the things that have already happened in the previous season. Maybe I'll watch more trailers, because I only watched this one trailer. And try not to spend so much time on them, though. If I find any interviews or something like that, something interesting that I want to watch, I might put that up. Talk about the things that we're expecting to happen in the coming episodes and coming season, because I have not looked into it beyond this trailer. So we'll see. I have heard that there are a couple guest people that are going to be on here, so we'll be looking forward to that, and I'll probably talk about them a little bit, just a little bit, when we do our pre-watch. And then when we have the next episodes come out after the first 3, then we'll probably talk a little bit about the previous episode. If there's any trailers for the coming episode, we can take a look at those. If there are this is what happened in the last episode and this is what some of it means, I might take a look at that in the pre-watches. We'll see. I have never done a pre-watch, I don't think. When I first started trying to do reactions, I tried to actually do a live stream reaction to, I think it was House of the Dragon, and that got cut off with a quickness. Even though I didn't have it on the whole time, you could hear the sound in the background. So I try not to do my recordings that way. I try to keep the sound from the show out of most of it, and then every once in a while I'll put the sound for it on there. But yeah, I tried to do it live stream, the whole freaking thing, without showing it and without playing the audio a lot of the times, and just because you could hear the audio in the background, it got cut off right away. Anyway, I don't even know where I was going with that. Just that, I guess, not going to be doing the reactions. I may later on, I'll record my reactions and I may put them on later on down the road when I have time, when I'm not working on other shows. But I will be doing the pre-watches. So if you want to see that, you're welcome to join in an hour before they air. I don't know if they're airing things over in Europe and stuff at a different time. They may be, because I know they do that sometimes. Sometimes they do it at a completely different time of year. When I was watching Dairy Girls, we were getting episodes at completely different times of years than the people in Europe. So I don't know what that's going to be, but I will try to put a little notification up a little ahead of time saying what time and what days I should be on here, because it should be 1 hour before it drops here in Florida, where I am on the East Coast. So anyway, If you want to see that, you're welcome to see that. If not, that's okay. And the next TV show that I will be doing reactions to is Chaos, and I'll continue doing reactions to Attack on Titan. Like I said, I am taking a 2-week break from Attack on Titan just because I was too sick to get the videos recorded and edited and all of that. So I was a little behind on that. I'm trying to get caught up. So after I take a couple week break on that, I will go back to doing the weekly episodes. That's what I do with all the shows that I react to, is once every week I put a new episode up. And when I start Chaos, that will be once a week. After Chaos finishes, I will start on Deadlock. Deadlock is a kind of murder mystery show that takes place in Australia. So if you're interested in murder mysteries, that might be one that you might consider taking a look at. It seems interesting. I've only watched the first episode. I do have that in my reactions somewhere, so if you wanted to watch that, you could look for it. When I start doing Deadlock reactions, I will make a separate I will make a separate playlist for Deadlock, so it'll be easier to find those. But right now, I don't think I have that set up. So anyway, that's all I got for you right now. I'll see you when I see you.